Oh, there's some movement in the stalls, quite a lot of it. Italian Lover having some difficulties. Stall 7. And the front gates have come open. The horse still hasn't come out. Just got a little fractious beforehand. So Italian Lover's been led out the front of the stalls. Kevin Stott, his rider, stays in them. Just a case of whizzing him back round the other side. And he's been withdrawn. Italian Lover withdrawn, not running. So they go without him, and away they jump with Trojan Legend number 3. Away very nicely with Blue Curaco, who made a good start as well. Grand Central sent right up on the outside, and Balmaha also very much in the thick of the early contention. Wide on the track, Twilight Kiss. That one's gone so wide from stall 11, staying out there. Greavesy held up in behind Ready Reckoner in the main body of the field. Loopy Loo is held up as well, and so too is Strike Alliance, the back end of the field. But Twilight Kiss, who stayed out wide, very seldom see those tactics here, even from a horse drawn high over this distance. But that's what he did, and he stays with the lead as they begin the turn back towards home. Twilight Kiss in front narrowly from Grand Central, Trojan Legend, Balmaha, followed by Loopy Loo now being driven along. They're followed by Blue Curaco, and after Blue Curaco, Strike Alliance in front of Ready Reckoner, in the back markers are Bernadine alongside Greavesy. Moving then down the straight and up front, Twilight Kiss, chased by Trojan Legend over on the far side running rail. Grand Central comes next. Greavesy tries to make a run of it down the far side as Strike Alliance gets going as well, with Bernadine and Loopy Loo plugging on as well. It's a messy old race here. Ready Reckoner coming down the wide outside. Twilight Kiss faltering badly from the back. Bernadine's come through. With this one is Ready Reckoner down the outside. Greavesy and Grand Central as well. Bernadine doing just enough. As they race up towards the line, it is Bernadine from Ready Reckoner, Strike Alliance and Grand Central.
Bernadine off the mark, and a really strange race, wasn't it? Really strange. I'm looking forward to seeing the home straight, especially, because while plenty of them seemed in with chances, it wasn't necessarily the ones that 2 furlongs out you thought were in the best position or were showing enough to suggest that they were going to be throwing their hats into the ring. But it's the 3-year-old filly Bernadine for Danny Muscutt and James Fanshawe. Tom Fanshawe in attendance this evening, and I'm sure Connections will be absolutely delighted by that. This was her first crack at a mile. She's very much seen it nicely. The pedigree gave a few mixed signals and plenty of sprint influence, but it did seem like it could be within reach, and ultimately it very much has been. Look where she is at the moment. She's right at the back. She's going to take a contrasting path through to Greavesy, who did what Greavesy always does, really. I mean, this was amongst some of the laziest I think I've seen him perform, and he's run an absolute cracker once again. Tom Markin's mount is just about to start fading away from things, and here's where the closers start to really kick in, with Ready Reckoner also coming there. And ultimately Bernadine has shaped with more zest than last time as well, when she showed with far more zest than she had done in her prior runs. This is kind of, on paper, it looked like a typical 3-year-old handicap. At this time of the year, horses who hadn't really shown much are now starting to show plenty more, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities in the all-weather winter campaign, or the last couple of months of it, for a type like Bernadine, and she probably won't go up a massive amount either.
No, she won't, but I think this is, as you say, a messy enough race. We'll take it from the start, where we saw Strike Alliance out of 3 slow away, and we saw quite a nice break from the favourite 3, Trojan Legend. But the interesting point was, Steve, Twilight Kiss, Tom Marquand, tracking that wide path and then coming around horses to hit the front, and ultimately it was quite a fierce pace up in front.
Yeah, that's the most. The other thing was that Strike Alliance, who eventually came third, missed the break and maybe did quite well to do that. Yeah, it looked intentional. on Twilight. He just went, I guess, in a straight line from 11, and then came across late. Maybe when he came across, he was in front, but obviously didn't last there. It was a race where the pace sort of collapsed, although to be fair, Grand Central, who was in second place, eventually comes quite a close fourth, so it wasn't a complete pace collapse. I'd need to watch this about 20 times just to make any sense of it, if I'm being honest. Anything I'm saying now is with no confidence at all. I mean, the winners come from disputing last place.
Yeah. The
eventual second, who you see when Jamie Spencer first asked him to improve, didn't look very willing.
No.
Certainly looked awkward and sort of hung a bit. Eventually, he sort of got him to the outside and he belatedly ran on, but he didn't look, you see here, he starts to try and pull him outside, then it goes to one side. And you didn't think
he's still hanging a bit there, isn't he?
Isn't he?
That's cost him a bit of momentum, and he's flown at the end. But look at the winner, Bernadine, just zigzagging through horses under Danny Muscutt, and
extraordinary.
And really finds that, and the gap, the head-on will be really fascinating here with Greavesy on that far side as well, who made a bit of a move, but just does that.
He does.
Kind of stops in front a little bit, doesn't
he? Yeah, he did. And maybe 7 furlongs is his best trip. Actually, he probably was no extra in the final furlong. But if we stopped this race, if we paused it at home, 2 furlongs out, I'd defy anyone to name the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they're there. I mean, Bernadine has done really well, but he's had a dream run through as well. She has, I beg your pardon, has done extremely well to get up and win going away. She's quite lightly raced, and she's probably the one to take out of the race, actually, because she looked fairly straightforward under pressure. You can see why Reddy Reckoner hasn't won too many races. Good run though this is. Greavesy's run a bit like Greavesy does. Disappointing of the race was Trojan Legends, wasn't it? Who was well positioned in 4th place and ends up, I think, 3rd last, and more was clearly expected. Striker Lines has run, the other handicap, has run okay from an unpromising position after a slow start, but I thought that was a complete mystery, Jess, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, a bit of a blanket finish, but Bernadine is the one that comes out on top, the daughter of Cody Bear, and we can get winning reaction from assistant trainer Tom Fanshawe now with Anthony.
We can indeed, Jess. Yes, Tom joins me. Tom, a messy enough race, but your filly hadn't really done anything wrong prior to this, and she's seen the mile out nicely.
Yeah, we Dan said after the last one, step up and trip will suit her, and owner Arthur Boyd Rochford, he'd been pushing to put her over a mile, and showed a really nice attitude there. So we're very happy to get a win on the board with her.
Mixed pedigree as well, plenty of sprint influence, I should say, but in this type of race, when it's suddenly a pace injection where it really mattered, that actually probably played into her hands.
Yeah, well, definitely. All the boys that breezed her, Eddie Linehan and Dan and NYRA, they always thought a lot of her, and we've always thought a bit of her at home, and it's nice to see that she's translated that to track. But obviously, being a breeze up, she showed plenty of speed in April there, and she's gone and shown a bit of that speed today, which is great.
Post-race, you immediately think 3-year-old filly at this time of year, there's plenty of opportunities for her to keep going again. Would you be of that opinion for this filly in particular?
Yeah, definitely. She's tough, she's hardy, and she's just got a bit of confidence now, which is great. I just felt towards the back end of the year we were running her maidens and she was finding it difficult, whereas she's got a mark now and she's being competitive in her races, and she seems to be enjoying her racing a lot more, and could be a type to improve a little bit more.
You've got one second up, I think it's in our next race, is it? The novice? What do you make of her so far?
He ran quite a nice race first time out. He hasn't actually been in with us that long. I'd say mentally he's still a bit of a baby, but he's a nice scopy horse, and fingers crossed he can improve further through the year.
I think the Newcastle run as well, the 4 in front of him all had prior experience as well, and he coped well enough with expectation.
There was a very strong headwind that day, and I think for a horse having his first run, it was quite difficult conditions up there. I think today he'll have learned a lot more from that first start, and should be a lot straighter, and fingers crossed he can build on that.
Well done there, and best of luck.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, well done there to Tom Fanshawe, representing the Fanshawe team, who saw Bernadine win here 9-1. She returned for Danny Muscutt on board. Reddy Reckoner second, and was a real eye-catcher at 9-2, and third was Strike Alliance at 9-2. Winning time for Bernadine in our second race, 1 minute 42.55 seconds, which was 5.65 seconds above the standard and 0.71 seconds above the standard furlong per furlong.